Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about the fatal headshot to JFK and give out more information as well. Now, the reason why I'm making another video on this is I'm going to go into a little bit more details and stuff. But in this one here, I'm not going to talk too much about my research, the gunman's location and the fatal headshot that he took and stuff like that from shelter number 3. Okay, I'm going to look at it from their point of view. And I want to show some facts from their point of view that it could not happen. But a lot of people still insist that, or insist, I should say, that the Zapruder film has been altered. The fatal headshot came from behind a picket fence or from the south side or one thing or another. And we have all these doctors, saying that the hole in the back of JFK's head, so they had to alter the film, the Zapruder film and everything else, but they use this, like as I point out, they use the Zapruder film as evidence, but they say it's been altered. Okay, so we're going to look at all these facts and we're going to look at these locations. Okay, and when I started my investigation, let me say this, when I started my investigation, I went over these facts and stuff like that, and a lot of people don't understand it. That's why I said they don't see it, the full percentage of it. Just like when they says, well, the fatal headshot came from behind a picket fence. They tell us the fatal headshot came from behind a picket fence because JFK went back and then he went to the left. He went back and then to the left. Okay, they want to keep on pushing that issue of he went back and to the left. Now, like I said, and then they said, well, no, it was a frontal shot. So you got people on this side of the conspiracy saying he went back and to the left and he came from behind a picket fence, and you have people on this side of the conspiracy says no, the shot came from the south side of Dealey Plaza. And then we have ones in the center of the conspiracy side says no, it was a frontal shot. Okay, and all these doctors placing the hole all over here on JFK's right side of the head. Okay, I'm going to show you once and for all why I say that there could have been no frontal shots or shots from picket fence or anything else like that, because we have to look at facts. I'm also going to point out another reason why they would not, the FBI, CIA, or any of them would not even bother altering any of these images, because it's going to ruin their case, which I'm going to show you as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right into it. Now, remember, we have all these doctors and everybody else, these eyewitnesses, saying, that the gaping hole in the back of JFK's head is all over in different locations, right along the right side here. Okay, let's see if that can actually be possible. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take JFK's limo, as you see right here. We're going to put it back in the location of where the fatal headshot is. This is where the X is, and the fatal headshot took place. Now we're going to put that back into its prospective location, and we're going to position the people as you see here. So now we got the proper angle of how the car was turned. We have the proper way of how the people were seated in JFK's limo at the time when the fatal headshot took place. Now, I want to point this out as well before we get started here. When we view images and all this other stuff, what we're going to see? We're going to see Mrs. Kennedy on the left side, Mrs. Connolly on the left side. We got two Secret Service agents in the front of the limo. And where's JFK and Governor Connolly? On the right side of JFK's limo. Now, when we're going to look at this view here, is there a possible way? Okay, remember, this is the back of Mrs. Kennedy. Here's her head, her hair and stuff. Now, this is before the fatal headshot to JFK. This is frame 20 of the Orville Nix film. Is there any possible way a shot from the south side could happen that way? Because remember, see how she's turned? That's why I positioned everybody in the vehicle, as you see right here, in JFK's limo. We got the location of where the fatal headshot took place, and we got the positions of the people, which I'll pull this one up, and I'll pull this one up right here. And we'll even look at the Mormon photo as well. We'll pull up the Mormon photo too. So we can have all this in play. The position of Mrs. Kennedy. Okay. And we're going to look at that just for a moment. See how that position. So we're going to show you. Let's see how the position is. Here's Kennedy, you know, facing forward and stuff. Mrs. Kennedy's right here beside him. This is her at that proper thing. Because remember, they're sitting like this. Kennedy's sitting like this, and Mrs. Kennedy's sitting like this. Okay, and then we have Mrs. Connolly sitting sideways this way, looking over at her husband, and Governor Connolly looking also out to the right, because he's like, you know, trying to look around to his right. Okay, so he's looking out to the right. He's looking out to the right. She's looking out behind him to the right. JFK is looking forward, and Mrs. Kennedy's looking out to the right, because as you see right here. So we're going to get that for settled right there. So we know that this is how they're positioned in the limo, and we're not even going to use other follow-up car stuff because we want nothing distracting anything, or even the guys on the steps here. And we're right in the same position where the fatal headshot took place. Now we're going to see if a headshot could happen from that location. Here is any shots from the picket fence area. Let's look at the picket. We're going to look at the picket fence area for a moment. Let's look at that. Either from this location, this location, this location, or this location. We're going to shoot JFK in the right side of the head. Where's the blow mark going to be at? Oh, the blow mark's going to be, he'd be shot right here. The blow mark's going to be over here on the left side of JFK. But wait a minute. We can't have it that way because of the doctors said, which will shrink this. We're going to open this up. And we're going to open this back up. We're going to zoom in. Okay. And by doing this, we're going to see, let's zoom back just a little bit so we get all of it in here. If JFK was shot here, from that angle, the blowout hole should be out right on this side of JFK's head. Because remember, these doctors and stuff are telling us the truth now. They're telling us the truth. Okay, here's a blowout spot. Here's a blowout spot. Here's a blowout spot. Here's a blowout spot. Okay, they're saving us right here on the right side, which is, this is the right side of JFK. But as we see here, we'll bring this up and then we'll bring this up. But as we see here, if any shots came from the picket fence here, 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 or here, JFK would have been hit on the right side, as we see here. Right side right here. But the blowout hole will be over here on the left side of JFK. But see, that's not matching the doctor's descriptions, though, is it? They're deciding that the blowout hole was on the right side. But people says, no, the gunman was behind the picket fence. So we got JFK's limo back in its location where the fatal headshot took place. We had the people in the right positions as it was during that time of that fatal headshot. And we hear people say, oh, well, no, the blowhole's in the back. That's why the Zapruder film was doctored and other images doctored, because of they had to cover up that hole that's on the right side of JFK's head. But as you see, a shot could not occur to the right side. A blowhole cannot be out on the right side of JFK because it would have to take place to the left side of JFK's head, as I pointed out here. So with that in mind, this cannot back up what the doctors tell us. So now we got to eliminate that. Okay, now we got to eliminate the picket fence. Okay, because he would have been shot on this side of the head, which is the right side of the head, but the blowhole should be on the left side of JFK's head. Now we're going to eliminate that one. Okay, now we know it ain't behind the picket fence, but still we got south side. So now we're going to open up the south side here. Well, let's look at this. Well, if we get a shot from the south side, JFK be shot here, the blowout hole will be right here. Oh, whoa, right down here below the ear where some doctors claim it would be at. So we almost got a positive match. But we got a problem with that. We have a problem with that. Two things are going to go wrong here. Okay, we're going from the south side now. That's from this location on the overpass, over here, and over here by the picket fence and stuff on that side. We have a problem now. For that bullet to work, this end I'm going to push in JFK. We're going to end up shooting Mrs. Connolly, Mrs. Kennedy, driver, Governor Connolly, a passenger, I should say, and then driver over here, Mrs. Connolly, before they strike JFK. And not only that, we got to look at as well. Wouldn't it be pushing JFK to the right? So now we got to match. But see, that's what I'm saying when it comes to stories. Okay, well, they said we got to look at it this way. Well, his story is almost matching this right here. His is not. His is definitely not. His is not. His is not. His is not. His 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 is matching it a little bit. Hers is too. So we got this guy here, and this woman here, and this man here, claiming that shot was right here. That matches the location, except, like I said, except it'll if a shot from that location would end up striking Mrs. Kennedy, Mrs. Connolly, Governor Connolly, the driver, or the passenger before it even will strike JFK. Plus, it's not matching because now JFK is not going to the back and to the left. JFK is going boom to the right. Well, he's going to the right now. So all the blood splatter and stuff should go off to the right. So that can't match because, see, we have to look at this. So with that shot occurring that way, remember, most of the blood spatter and even Mrs. Kennedy retrieving a piece of brain or something, brain matter from JFK was on the left side of the limo, not the right side, the left side of the limo, because you see here, JFK is on the right side of the limo. So to match this up, okay, to match that up, we have to have just 3 people, but we have to have Mrs. Kennedy shot, Mrs. Connolly shot, Governor Connolly shot, or a driver or the passenger shot before JFK would have been shot, and JFK would not went back and to the left. JFK would have went off to the right. So that's not matching. And the blowhole on this side would mean all of the brain matter and everything is going to land on the street and on the right side of JFK's limo, not on the back of JFK's limo or on the left side of the vehicle or anything else like that, or on the left side of Elm Street. So everything's going to go this way. So now we still don't have a match. So what are we going to do now? Well, they said it was a frontal shot because remember, JFK went back and to the left. So now we're going to look at a frontal shot. So we got to eliminate that now. Now let's look at this frontal shot. Okay. Whew. Sorry, it's a lot to do here for a frontal shot. We got a frontal shot now, which we'll zoom this up. We have a frontal shot right here. Hey, that matches. Again, right there, we got the frontal shot. Let's match it again. But he's got to be right, almost right above James Tagg to take that frontal shot. Okay, as you see right here. See how they're positioned. Only one we're going to be either hit is the driver or Governor Connolly before JFK. But we're going to say he's up high because we're going to look at that. Right, so we're going to look at that frontal shot for a moment. So he's up high, as you see here, and he's shooting down low, so he could get above the driver, the passenger, and Governor Connolly. Okay, and then that blowhole will be right back there. But we got another problem. We have another problem. A shot can't be happening there because, one, if a shot was happening right here on the overpass, these people here would have seen the assassin, and they probably would have jumped on him and beat him up, and be kicking him, stomping him into the ground, because this is the only location you can get a frontal shot to JFK. So, but we got a problem again. JFK will be going to the back, straight to the back. But again, the blood has to be in the brain matter and all that has to be on the right side of JFK's limo, not the left side where everything was found. Plus, they couldn't get a clear shot to him. And here's the reason why. Again, people don't pay attention when they put out the research. What do we see here? Oh, we see a mirror on the sun visor here. Now, what would a mirror on a sun visor do at high noon when the sun's reflecting down on them? We're going to get this, won't we? We're going to get that. If a scope is right there, that's what we're going to get through that scope. But you look at the sun visor and you go, well, wait a minute. That sun visor, okay, is down, so how can he get a reflection from it? Right? So how can that be reflection when, remember, it's down in front of the guy's face and the sun's right up here that's beaming down? So how's that going to do? Because this wasn't down at the time of the assassination. Let me show you. Where do you see that sun visor at? Let's look at that vehicle for a minute. There's that mirror right there, as you see. There's a sun visor up. But you know we also see that in the Zapruder film? Yeah, we do. Let me show you. Here's the Zapruder film. See that mirror right there? Right here? Sun visor's up. Okay, that sun visor's up. So how can we're going to get this, if we're going to take a shot from this location, get a frontal shot to JFK so we can line all this up? Where's it going to go past? What's going to be in that block, in that destruction view? Okay, we have the sun visor now. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be smart about it, but you got to look at this stuff. So now we got the sun visor up, as you see here, and in here, and then we're going to have that globe. This is what we're going to have. You see that mirror right there? So even with that up, that would have been shot. As you see how high that thing is sticking up. So if we're going to go for an upward shot, straight shot JFK, that right here would have been shot before JFK would have been hit. Before JFK would have been struck. He'd be right here. Because even in this video, I mean, even in this frame here, which is this 287, we see Mrs. Kennedy completely covered over JFK from the left side and all that other stuff. And by the angle of it, if you see that, to get a good clear shot here, for that bullet to strike right out here, for that exit to be in the back of JFK's head, would have to strike that mirror right in the center. But a gunman would have to face and look at this before he can get that clear shot to JFK. He's going to have that in his light, in his view, and then once you get that in view, you know, as you look at a light or in the sunlight, you're going to start seeing spots. So can he get a clear shot now? No, he can't. So now, again, JFK would have go to the back, but he wouldn't have been going to the left or to the right. He would have been straight back, and that's it. So he would have went straight back, but not to the left. He would not went to the right. He went straight back from a shot that way, but it can't be done because, as I showed you, it's not possible because of this sun visor being up and that mirror sticking out, and with the sun reflecting off of it at high noon from that angle, this is what he's going to see through his scope. He's not going to see a clear shot to JFK. Besides that, you're going to have all them people, which I pointed out. You'll have all these people up here that's on the overpass, okay, that's standing up here on the overpass, is going to be, because he would have to be standing right here, right above James Tague, right here, to take that shot for a frontal shot to JFK. So again, that's not matching the story. So you see, I've already showed you 3 different locations. The behind the picket fence, the south side, and a frontal shot. There's no possible way a shot can be made from them locations. Here's the reason why that the government would not allow no altering done, because it would have messed up their case. Because remember this, they said Lee Harvey Oswald took that fatal headshot because the bullet entered back here in the back of JFK's head. The bullet entered back right here. The bullet exits the front of JFK's head, which is right here. And the bullet ends up right here, stuck inside to the windshield. Because when you line that up, remember the bullet fragment's on the inside of the windshield. When you add that up, that's how they get their evidence. That's the evidence that they're using because they got JFK right in the center. And remember, when you look at it this way, it's a matching shot. It's a matching shot. However, like I said, they don't know that actually JFK's Oswald and the gunman inside shelter number 3, as I point out in research, he took his shot first, and with him being close, JFK's head opens up, and what's going to do? JFK's going to be pushed off to the left, and then when Oswald's bullet struck, it struck JFK in the back of the head, but went through the opening and struck the inside of the windshield. This is how we figure it all out. This is how it happened. But they're not going to tell us this or that. They're going to use it just as, this is the fatal headshot to JFK. This is why people on their side that says there's only 3 shots fired and Oz wasn't a lone assassin, because of the evidence they presented. And like I said, if they would alter the Zapruder film in any way, that would mess up their evidence. So they're not going to alter no images or no films, especially the Zapruder film. Just like someone made a post that says, well, how come only we see the blood spatter in just one frame, frame 313? We only see the blood splatter and that's it. But actually, that's wrong. We can actually see it in 4 frames. We can see this is frame 313, blood spatter. We see blood spatter right here. Frame 314, blood spatter still right here. Frame 315, and then blood spatter right here still. Okay, in frame 316, and then boom, the blood spatter's gone. So let's watch that in motion. Oops. Ready? Blood spatter, blood spatter, blood spatter. See how the blood spatter's moving towards the back? And then all of a sudden it's gone by frame 317. But in 413, 14, 15, and 16, we see it moving, the blood spatter moving here, like that. So you see there's blood splatter in each one of the frames. Now, again, people want to push the issue of, no, the films has been altered. Which I show you, the Zapruder film was not altered in any way. When we watch the Zapruder film, JFK is not being pushed back and to the left. He's pushing to the left. Most of the brain matter and everything else like that, the blood spatter and stuff, goes to the left side of JFK's limo. Mr. Kennedy picks up the partial piece of the brain and everything else of JFK's brain stuff on the left side of the limo, as I pointed it out. But when we view this, okay, as I pointed out, to get a frontal shot, JFK would have went straight back, but we have to worry about the sun visor being in the way, and we have the glow and everything else. The front of JFK's head would have been shot, as you see right there. Now let's look at the autopsy images. There's no bullet holes in front of the skull whatsoever. There's no bullet holes right here. So for JFK, for a blowhole to be in the back as they want to portray it, as you notice I said portray it, okay, they would have to have the bullet hole in the front of JFK's head right here. Okay, it has to be in front, right in this location here, for it to match up and line up to come out in this location here, which is the part of the lower upper part of JFK's neck. Not the back of his head no more. It's the lower part of his neck right here. I mean, upper part of his neck right here, as you see right here. That's if we have that frontal shot as they want to portray it. Okay, but we know and we've seen there is no bullet holes on JFK's head. None whatsoever on the front part of JFK's head. Same as the other ones, which I want to pull up here. Let me close some of these out so we don't have to worry about them, because I got a lot of pictures and images showing up. I present my evidence, okay? And like I said, I looked at other people's research and stuff like that, because like I said, you know, they're going to say the blowhole's right here. This is the reason why I tell people and I show people, okay, we can't believe in any of the research, like I said, because when we look over the facts, okay, now we have to have a bullet hole on the right side of JFK's head, I mean on the left side of JFK's head, for a blowhole to be out on this part, which again, we look at the images and stuff, we're going to see that there is no bullet hole or entry wound on the left side of JFK's head. Okay, so a shot from the south side, there would have to be an entry wound on this side of JFK's head for the blowhole to be out on the opposite side, okay, over here behind the ear, as some of the doctors will portray. But then again, like I said, we have to look at the facts of Mrs. Connolly would have been shot, the driver would have been shot, the passenger would have been shot, Governor Connolly would have been shot before JFK would have been shot, or Mrs. Kennedy would have been shot before JFK was, if any shots came from this south side right here. This is a plain fact. Any shots come from here would strike anybody right here, because we're positioned, as I showed you, we positioned the people right back in their locations of how they are at by the time of the fatal headshot. We placed JFK's limo right in the exact spot where the X is, right where that headshot took place. Okay, so we looked at this angle, and there's no possible way. We looked at this angle here, and there's no possible way, because one might fit, but the other stories don't fit. Okay, and now we look at the picket fence area, and as you see here, JFK would have been pushed completely over to the back and left at the same time. Blood spatter to be all over here on this side and stuff, which was found and everything else. But the blowhole should be on the opposite side of JFK's head, which is right here. Not over here on the right side. It should be on the left side. You see what I'm saying? This is the reason why I don't believe in a lot of the research. Like I said, I have nothing bad say about them or anything else. And I know there's a lot of people out there claims they're experts and all this other stuff like that as well. But see, they don't have no answers for these questions. Okay, and if you don't have the answers to the questions, that means it never happened. Okay, like I said, it's easy to do ballistic tests when you're just using one subject or two subjects in a vehicle, nobody in the surroundings or nothing. But when you place the right subjects back in their location in the same positions that they were at the time the fatal headshot occurred, you're going to get a total new different story. Okay, we're going to see that these doctors over here, their story is not lining up. As I pointed out, they're pointing in different locations of JFK's head on the right side here. Any shots from the picket fence area, there should be a blowhole on this side of JFK's head, not this side. You see what I'm saying? But then we continue pushing, no, the shot came from the picket fence area. Then they sit there and they're even pushing off JFK, and he's shot from the south side. Beyond this side here will push JFK off to the right, but he would have to have an entry wound on the right side of his head with the blowhole out on this side of his head right here. But he would have been pushed over to the right. So see, they're not going into this kind of details to you, but I will. I will show you this kind of details, and I'll show you examples, I'll show you diagrams and everything else, because they're not going to explain this to you. They're going to say, no, he went back and to the left. That's what they're going to tell us, but they have no evidence to show he went back and to the left. They're going to say he went back and to the left. He had a frontal shot. Shot came from the picket fence area, or the shot came from the south side there. You know, they're going to give you locations, but they're not agreeing with the locations, but they're not going to go in detail and say, well, if a shot came from the picket fence, we're going to have the blowhole on the left side of JFK's head. So why doctor? That will bring us, why doctor the Zapruder film to cover up a blowhole on the right side of JFK's head when the blowhole should be on the left side of JFK's head if the shot came from behind the picket fence? Okay, just like people sit there, that's why when I say I'm not talking about my research, because when I talk about my research, okay, JFK would have been shot right here from the shelter window. It's going to strike JFK in the right side of the head. There's nobody to block him, which I'll even pull this up like here. We'll just take this. Let's see. We have the original map here. Let's go ahead and make a copy of this just for a moment. And I'm going to show you. Now let's go to paste. Now I'm going to open this up in Paints so we can do this fast. Okay, so we don't have to take up a lot of time. Now, my gunman was inside of shelter number 3. Okay, now that's right here where the window is, right here, as you see, which I'll move down just a little bit more. Now we take that shot and we're going to line that up, and we're going to line it right straight to JFK's head, right there, as you see, boom, right. Now let's close that out. I just done that in front of you, so there ain't no this or that, this or that. Now, what's going to happen to JFK? Shot from the window right here of the shelter, going down, shot in where? The right side of JFK's head, which is right here. Anybody blocking him? No. Mr. Kennedy's not blocking him. Governor Connolly's not blocking him. Mrs. Connolly's not blocking him. The drivers are not blocking him or anything else. He's got a straight, clear shot, and he got him from this point here. He's got it from this point here to get a clear bead all the way to there. He's got a clear shot to him. He's got time to take a bead, a bead on JFK. No destruction of reflection of sunlight on the vehicle or anything else like that. None of that going on or anything. And when we look at the Zapruder film, when he's being pushed off, okay, when he's being pushed off, he's going to the left. And all the brain matter and stuff is going off to the left. So everything is matching what I present in my research of where the fatal headshot came from. But like I said, people don't want to agree with me on that, which is, like I said, it's their own opinion. But they're going to sit there and tell me, no, you're wrong. You got to be wrong because that film was altered. If they altered the Zapruder film, that would mess up their case. So they're not going to mess up their case. So they're not going to alter it. Okay? That's why Citra says, to these researchers and stuff, you say the shot came from a picket fence, show me. They can't because there's no evidence to prove it. Even when you put it in ballistic tests and stuff like that, and you place the people back in this location and stuff, as I pointed out here, okay, which I don't try to repeat myself, but we got to look at it this way. We have to look at it this way. As a researcher, if you're going to present evidence saying the shot came from this way, this location, or this location, this location, or this location behind a picket fence, we're going to have to sit down and put a map and put everybody in their location the way they were, same position, all the way they were today when that fatal headshot took place. And we're going to have to say, well, if you take a shot here, they got clear shots to them. But remember one thing. Like I said, they're still got to something you got to look at, which I want to do it here again, which I'm sorry to be doing this. Okay, we're going to copy and we're going to paste that one. Okay, now let's open this one up with paints again. And the reason why I said this, because remember, he's being shot on the left side, on the right side of his head, right? And for that shot to work, but he's going to have a blowhole on his left side of his back of his head. But as you see right here, I had to do something else. Because we got 4 shots right here from 4 different locations, am I correct? Well, we're going to have to eliminate some of them. Let me show you the reason why. We got to eliminate it. Where's my mouse at? Okay, let's go ahead and put this right here. And the reason why I got to make a circle here, in this location here, is because remember we got 3 men standing on the steps. So we got to eliminate that. And then we can't do here because you got to be on a 20-foot step ladder. So we got that retaining wall in front of us. So we got to eliminate that shot. Okay. Now we only got 2 shots right here that can still get through. Don't get me wrong. That's why I said I look outside that box as well. We still have 2 shots that can get through. But again, even if they make it through these 2 shots right here, one right here or one right here, they still make it through. The blowhole will still be on the left side of JFK's head, not the right side. So see, any way you look at it, you can try to figure out any possible way. This is what I did. As you know, I said, well, it could be possible, but it's not. So why would altering a Zapruder film, which shows the right side of JFK's head, okay, the right side of JFK's head, why alter this side? Because if it came behind a picket fence, the blowhole's going to be opposite side, which they'll have to come to the Mary Mormon photo and doctor it on this side, because this is where JFK's head should have been opened up, on this side, not this side, on this side here, because that shot came from that picket fence. As you will see here, if a shot came to that picket fence right here, it would have struck him right here on the right side of the temple, and this wouldn't have been opened up. This would have stayed still completely solid. That we would have had an entry wound there, but the blowhole out on the backside of JFK's head on his left side would be right here, as you see right here. Even if you go down here a little bit further, we take the shot, we got these guys here, we got the wall over here, but if we go down a little bit further and we come in there, still taking a shot right here to JFK's temple would end up still right here in this location here. So you see what I'm saying? I'm going in detail, okay? But these researchers are going to say, this is the reason why the Zapruder film has been altered, because they covered up that blowhole in there. But when you look at the facts now and you say, well, if the shot came from the picket fence area, the bullet entry wound would have been here, but the blowhole would have been out here. Because remember, everything landed on the left side of JFK's limo. If a shot would have came from the south side, they would have ended up hitting Mrs. Conley, the driver, or Mrs. Kennedy, before JFK would have been shot. But then he would have to have an entry wound on the right side, left side of his head, with the exit wound over here. But we got to look at, well, all the brain matter or blood and everything else would have been on the right side of JFK's limo, not the left side. So see, it's not matching anything. All the evidence that was presented from the case of what happened that day, it's not matching in their stories. That's why I said I can't believe their stories. See, I go in depth, I go in detail, just like this right here. People think, oh, well, I'm going to say this or say that just so people can believe me and, don't believe in other people's research. Okay, I'm showing you their examples, like the Warren Commission report. This is their example right here. I'm showing you theirs. This is the reason why people believe in the Warren Commission report more than they do the stories, even though they tell us that the conspiracy people have their stories told more than before the other people. But when we look at evidence like this, okay, we got the bullet fragment inside the windshield here. That lines up to where JFK was sitting. And then we got follow that bullet hole straight back, and we put the car back in its position and everything else. Okay, that shot came from a 6th floor tech school depository. Okay, Oswald took that shot. So we're not going to alter no films now because we got to show this. Only thing they don't have an explanation for is why didn't he go forward? Okay, that's the only reason why. The only explanation they don't have. They only have to worry about one story coming out. Well, he didn't go forward. So they ain't worried about that. Okay, they're not worried about that. But see, they don't know that JFK's head opened up first, and then that bullet struck the back of JFK's head, but passed through and struck inside the inside of the windshield, which I found out in my research. But you're not going to find anybody else's research. But like I said, all they have to worry about is why he go forward. That's all they have to worry about, right? But when you look at these other people's research, okay, like the one from the south side, well, okay, he was shot here, but there's no entry wound on the left side of JFK's head. The blowhole's right here, but the blood and brain matter and stuff was on the left side of JFK's limo, not the right side of JFK's limo. So see, we got that. And why didn't he go to right and not back and to the left? Because he wouldn't be going into the shot. He'd be going away from the shot, which would be going to the right, which ain't doing that. So see, they're not going to go into details that way because they have no answers for it. Because they're going to say, well, if you show them a map like this, you can just say, well, we looked at these testings that you guys did, and it came from the south side right here in these 3 different locations. As we see, all these people here would have been shot, and the blowhole would have been on the right side where they said it was, but we have to have an entry wound on the left side of JFK, which we don't, and all the brain matter and blood and stuff is going to be on the right side of JFK's limo, not the left side of JFK's limo. So we have more questions. What answers they're going to have? They're going to say, well, that blood must have went whoosh. It took a big U-turn too, like they're trying to present that bullet taking U-turns. Brain matter and blood spatter took U-turns too as well. Okay, and why didn't he go to the right? Why didn't he go to the right? Why did he go to the left? He went to the left. People says he went back into the left, but I'll show you he didn't go back into the left. He went straight over to his left. But see, that's what I'm saying. See, they're going to come back and say, well, this or that, this and that. But there's no evidence to back up any of their research. That's why I said, if anybody could find some kind of evidence to show behind that picket fence, there is none. The south side, there is none. They can say all the ballistic tests they want. They want to use one dummy, use 2 subjects in the car or 1 subject in the car to try to portray it, but they don't put them back in positions like I point out and I show people. I put the people back in their positions and everything else of how they were when that fatal headshot occurred to see if this can happen or that can happen. Okay, I look at facts and stuff. Like I said, well, we have a mirror right here on the sun visor right here. And during the time of the assassination, that sun visor was up, as you see here, which I'll pull up this frame here. And we see the sun visor is sticking up, and we see that mirror right here, as you see here, and the sun visor is sticking up. So any shot from the front is going to be distracted because this is what the gunman is going to have from his view Plus, we also got to look at he's going to be on the overpass, and there was people on the overpass because he would have been right almost right above James Tagg because James Tagg was standing here, so he would have been over in this location here. We have all these people up here. If a guy would have pulled out a rifle there and took his shot, all these people would be over there taking that gun, beating him with it, okay? And they would have seen who the assassin was. So you see what I'm saying, okay? Just like, I point out people's, their stories and stuff. Just like I said, these doctors and stuff. We got these doctors placing the bullet hole all in different, blow out in the back of JFK's head all over in different directions, but they're not giving us no detail of why wasn't there any entry wounds over here if the blowhole was over here, okay? If they came behind a picket fence or something, the blowhole should not be on this side. It should be on this side of the head with the entry wound on this side of JFK's head, and JFK's head should never even open up. So see, there's a lot of questions, a lot of things you got to cover over. Okay, that's the reason why I tell people we can't sit there and base our research on what they're telling us. Because when we put it on paper and we put all the evidence together and we start trying to put this puzzle together and piece it all together, and we're going to see there's no way a shot could have came from this location or that location, okay? Because we have to look at all the facts during that time of that fatal headshot. There's only one location that fatal headshot can come from, and that's the location I found. But we can see this in the films and images, but like I said, people don't want to believe in it. They want to still believe in films altered. They want to believe in images altered. They want to believe there was a gunman behind a picket fence. They want to believe there was a gunman on the south side. They want to believe there was a gunman along the overpass, okay? They want to keep on believing this, but there's nothing to back it up. If you're going to believe in something, find some evidence to back it up. Don't just sit there and agree to something, okay? That's why I tell people, you don't have to agree with me and my research. I just present what's there. I present what facts are there. Okay, I go in details. I had to look at this. When I looked at it, when I first started this case stuff, these are things I look at to make sure that a gunman had a clear shot to JFK. If you're going to present evidence to say a shot came from this location, you better have the evidence to show that that shot came from that location. And you got to make sure that you have evidence also to back that up as well, to make sure he has a clear shot to JFK at that time where that shot took place, and by the surroundings and everything else. So see, there's a lot of things we have to look at, and as you see, I pointed it out here. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Always in the description down below, you're going to find a book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you'll need in the JFK assassination. You'll find this kind of information and all kinds of other information in there. Like I said, share this video with your friends, families, on your social medias and on other sites and stuff so they may know this information, even my other videos as well. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.